Alright, so this is actually a game I worked on that we released back in October, early October. So I only came in on the very end of the project because the company I work for had a few projects going on, and I had other stuff that I was working on. But I came in on the end of the project to try to touch up the input system, make it a bit more friendly to controllers. Because unfortunately,
I can appreciate that.
Unity's controller library is really awful, to be honest. But they keep promising a new input system and a new GUI system, but they haven't done it yet. But there's a lot of other nice things about the engine, so I can't complain too much.
It's come a long way over the years.
Start the timer soon. Takes a minute to load sometimes.
A lot of times. Just get a solid state drive.
I thought it was a solid state drive on this machine. Okay, start the timer now. So, right, the day of release, we had a 6-way dev race, and I managed to place like 5 minutes behind the lead guy, I think. So we'll see how it goes. I haven't seriously played this game for like at least a month now, other than doing some testing for little bits and pieces. Like I haven't done a full game run in quite some time, other than the one I did just a little while ago to D-Rust, and I'm already doing awful. They keep getting wow. Wow, really? Did I seriously just do that? I blame this keyboard. I'm not used to this keyboard.
It is kind of a weird keyboard. I don't know whose keyboard it is, though.
So, around the time this game came out, UA did a guest dev commentary on Puexel playing through this game on his stream. And I saw that, and a couple other people, the Angry Panda.
They are hearing us, right? This microphone is on, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, just making sure, sorry.
And Human Fist and Jasper. And we all kind of picked it up and started screwing around with it. So,
It's a great
I think
game.
the world record holder right now, if you want to call it that. Are you not hearing anything? Sick.
Oh, those speakers are off? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Okay. Alright. Anyway.
Well, as long as the stream can hear us, I'm not too concerned.
Which is doubtful. for various reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, all this time you've been talking and no one's heard you, maybe, possibly.
I hope they can hear the music, too, because the music's pretty great in this game.
Honestly, that's all that matters.
Oops, that's right, I don't have my gun yet.
Whatever we're talking about, not all that important.
Totally forgot I don't actually have my gun yet. I'm close, though. So, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
Oh,
I can say I'm
oh yeah, no. So the fastest current time in the community is like 47 minutes and something by Human Fist, and then everyone else is like way behind because no one can get a run with not that many deaths. You saw already how easy it is to die in this game.
Yeah, this game can be pretty unforgiving with its deaths. I like to think it's pretty fair in most of the time you die, it's because you screwed up, but there are definitely a couple of times when RNG can mess with you.
Yeah, no, and the real pain is most of the deaths tend to cost you a fairly substantial amount of time when you do die.
Yeah, you can play this with a controller and use dual sticks, but I think keyboard and mouse is the way to go, honestly. But everybody's got their own preferences. I played through it both ways and it works just fine. So it's more what you're used to than anything else. Oh, good deal. So yeah, the big thing about this game is the glare mechanic, which does sort of the one-size-fits-all hammer, pushes enemies away, it washes away certain things, it reflects bullets, it lets you pick things up.
It's just your magic flashlight.
Yeah.
Answers all of your problems.
pretty much.
Well, I really want to see you try the IL shot on that little jump there. It's
Which-
really fun. Just that little sequence of logs back there. There's an IL shot where you do some really ridiculous bursts.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that then. I haven't been paying as much attention to the speedrun stuff. But just to double check, you guys haven't actually found the bug with the bash beasts yet, right?
No, so Yue has been kind of hinting at a big skip, or I guess more like a big mechanic that will allow probably the next huge skip. So already in terms of speedrunning this game, we've done all the levels kind of, seemingly optimally. And then for the levels that are the longest, that is the 4th and 5th level, Ice and Lava. For Ice, we have basically nothing to skip anything interesting. It's just do it as fast as possible, and it takes a very long time. It's the longest level, 16 minutes.
Yep.
And then for Lava, we have the cactus skip where Yue will probably at least know where it is, and so he'll show off the area where it is, but I believe he's going to do a kind of skipless natural route run.
Whoops. Get up there.
And so you'll see that when we get to it. But that skip basically
die.
turns
Damn
Lava
it.
World.
Too much damage.
How many hits can you take?
3.
Okay.
That skip kind of turns Lava World from like 16 minutes into 6. So it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. There was actually another skip that I don't think you guys ever found. It ended up being slower than what you guys ended up finding with the
Lava World.
Yeah. Whoops. Okay. Wow. Barely made it out of there. If you drag, that first battery.
Yeah.
If you drag that all the way back to the beginning of the level, you can actually boost yourself over that wall.
Yeah, actually.
But what you guys ended up finding was faster, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, I think Panda actually did find that one.
Okay.
Or maybe it was Human Fist. I don't know. They were both screwing around with a lot of things. And then, yeah, the end conclusion was...
Okay,
there's
this
no
is actually
need.
intentional because it saves a bit of time.
There's no need because Cactus skip.
Yeah.
That was found by a guy named Cactus Q17. Haven't seen him in a long time. Actually, he was working on getting this game running in Hourglass. And trying to do
interesting.
a pass. And he actually found one
Sweet.
really neat trick in Ice World, which I'll point out to you, you probably haven't seen. But you can't really do it. It's like a pixel perfect, frame perfect jump that skips a section of puzzling for about like 40 seconds or something.
Okay. Alright, so now this is the first boss fight. Suddenly it's an all-way shooter. So
It's like what Starfighter switched to all range.
yeah, so this is on a bit of a timer. Like, it's not vulnerable until you see this thing, but then you have as much time as you need to do a third of its life bar, which, there is an actual life bar, but it won't close up again until you've done enough damage. But then you just have to kind of fight these things off while you wait for it to open up again.
So I'd say, honestly, these things are the factor that drives speedrunners crazy the most. The waiting is just kind of annoying, but, tolerable. Some of the bosses later on have different mechanics that make them, seriously challenging to get consistent strats for. And, of course, the monsters are just always irritating you.
Yeah. If I don't die to any of the bosses, I'll be amazed, honestly. But we'll see how it goes.
Dying on a boss also wastes a huge amount of time compared to almost any other death.
Yep.
By the way, the boss music is awesome. As well as all the other music.
Yeah. There's a couple of camera clipping bugs with the boss cutscene that we never bothered to fix. Maybe if I do have some stuff I want to work on sometime in the next couple of months on this game, so maybe I'll work on fixing those camera cutscenes, but I don't know, it's kind of low priority.
Implement in-game timer.
Yeah, that's the big one that I want to do. Like, so you can actually... Like, right now it tracks your best time, but it doesn't tell you what your time was until you go back to the menu screen. Something I would definitely want to add to it is it will just show, maybe as an option or something in the options menu, it will show you the game time either at all times or maybe just after you've beaten the level or something like that.
Yeah, that would be great.
So one thing about this game is that basically every level introduces a new mechanic of some kind. In this case, there's actually 2 new mechanics. Whoops. Okay, I did not mean to do that. Let's try that again. Okay, there's the 2 new mechanics in this stage. Well, one of them is these grapple points, which you can shine your light on, and you'll grab onto it. The other one you'll see later. It's another power-up that I'll be picking up. This is just a weapon power-up. It makes my gun more powerful, so it's nothing hugely special, but it's nice to have for some of the fights.
This is the spacer meme right here.
Yep.
Pretty soon you'll pick up the speed booster.
So as far as the whole timing aspect, was that something that they had planned even before that you joined the project, or did you?
I guess I don't actually know what they were. I mean, they knew from the start that they wanted to try to make something that was kind of speedrun friendly. Okay, there's some crazy boost you can do with this thing that like skips this section, but it's really inconsistent, so I'm not going to try it because it only saves like 10 seconds. Whoop. Or more if I keep accidentally losing my spot. You can actually fling yourself all the way up here if you let go of the grapple point while you're still moving towards it. You'll get a big old speed boost, and that's sort of that was an unintentional mechanic that we decided to leave in because it was cool.
If you've gotten comfortable with the lantern boost at some point, you should just show off what one looks like at some point.
Well, there's definitely a couple of spots where I'll be trying it. It's just that one in particular is pretty difficult. So.
In fact, actually, if you saw just there, he got a boost off of that one. That was a very minor boost, and it just catapulted him into a wall that was not very useful.
Whoops. This part can be deceptively difficult because all these guys are chasing you.
Honestly, this is, in terms of speedrunning, this is also one of the sections of this level that we hate the most. Just because those guys, just that little bit of RNG, they can just get in your face.
Yep.
No chat, that is not a Murloc.
So I wanted to get this game into the main marathon, and unfortunately Mike said no unreleased games, and when he was putting the list together back in like September, we hadn't actually released the game yet. It didn't get released until the 10th of October, I believe. I know it was early October. I'm pretty sure it was the 10th of October. And if I can get through this section without dying, then I will be happy. No matter what else happens in this run, if I can get through this section without dying. Wow. Dang it.
Those things.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty difficult section, especially because the checkpoint's kind of far apart. Oops, what am I doing?
Yeah, this section is not your friend, which is why speedrunners actually skip a substantial chunk of it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can just jump up here. What am I doing? Maybe? Come on. I know there's a way to do it, but I don't. Whatever. I'm just gonna do it the long way. You can jump up and grab one of the grapple points, but I forget exactly where you need to shine the light in order to do it.
The one up to the right. This one, in fact, when you're standing up.
Okay,
That's
alright.
the one you go up to.
I'm just gonna take it slow now. If it wasn't obvious already, then your life bar in this game basically consists of
Screen fading.
yeah, the screen will start to fade as you take damage, and when it's really dark like this, you're on the verge of death. You can take 3 hits. There's 2 ways you can restore your health. You can either hit a checkpoint, or the enemies will drop health that you can pick up. See, there's one lantern boost coming up that I might try for, see if I can get it, because it's not terribly dangerous to screw it up.
As far as like complexity of like controls and difficulty of playing this game, like it's a pretty easy game to pick up. The controls are very, very straightforward, and then stuff like the lantern boost is probably like the most complicated tech there really is in this game.
Okay, I must have been thinking of a different spot, because maybe it's this one?
Yeah.
Almost had it. Whoops.
And
Yeah.
and as you can see there, like it's funky. The physics are kind of odd, but once you get used to it, it's really, really easy to be consistent at it.
Yeah, like I said, it was an unintentional mechanic that once we discovered, it's like, you know what, that's cool, we're gonna leave it in. just something for the people who want to try all kinds of funny tricks.
And you can get some really crazy ones too. Basically, the lantern boost, like, it doesn't really seem to be respective of how fast you're currently going. It just, you grapple onto the thing as you go. Basically, the way you do that is you shine your glare towards the lantern, and it starts pulling you towards, and that gives you a little acceleration towards the lantern. And what you do is you just let go of the glare, and it will release you and just keep you with the momentum that you had, and so you'll just pick up a speed boost and just catapult forward. And basically, you can kind of, if you think about like in actual like astronomy, you know, the way they'll like send a space shuttle like around the moon or whatever to get like the gravity slingshot effect. You can do that with a grapple point, where if there's a grapple point here and you're going this way, you can suddenly be going this way really, really fast. And it works out really, really well. And there's just some hilarious moves you can do. You can get a lot of speed.
Yep. So this is the other power-up you find in this, or the other new mechanic introduced in this level. Once you get the slide power-up, there's these slide spots every, like basically for the entire rest of the game. There's going to be a ton of these because gotta go fast.
Chat, it looks like a Unity platformer because it is a Unity platformer.
Yeah, no, it is a Unity platformer. You made this in Unity. We actually discovered some really annoying limitations in the Unity editor while we were making this, just as far as like what size of the levels we could make.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, like the what we ended up having to do, like the final versions of the levels are all one map, but we had to build them in pieces because the Unity editor would just choke if we tried to make too big of a level. So we ended up having to edit the the 3 pieces by hand. Like I think they were all in like 3 pieces or something like that. And then we had a script that would join them together and make the final one.
Interesting.
Like because we didn't want to try to mess around with like asynchronous loading where it would like load bits of the level as you were playing because now it's even more error prone.
That's actually a poor user experience.
Yeah. So we just. And if you couldn't tell, like, the entire level's, like, wrapped around a cylinder that you're kind of facing down the center of. So the gravity is constantly changing. Whoops. Which was another fun thing to have to deal with the Unity engine, because, like, the stock physics only expect one gravity vector. But, you know, that wasn't terribly hard necessarily to tweak, but we basically had to write a bunch of code that would, like, orient things the right way and have it constantly be getting pulled towards the center. It's all kinds of weird little stuff we had to do. Oops. Dang it. That it didn't lit. I might have made that.
Yeah, you can actually lantern boost the crosshair, but that one is actually really touchy and difficult.
If you jump off the wall while you're doing a slide, if you do it at the right time, you can actually keep the slide speed, but it's pretty small window. And I don't know if there's any places where it actually saves you a significant amount of time. It's more of an interesting curiosity than anything else. I'd love to be proven wrong on that, though.
How many months was the game in development for?
Too long. That's all I'll say. Too long.
That is the way with game projects.
Yeah. Well, whoops, what am I doing? That's not how you get over that pit. This is how you get over that pit. I will say, though, that like once we actually had decided like what the game was going to be, I think it took about 6 months.
Okay.
But
yeah, that pre-production phase where you don't have a solid idea of what your product is.
right.
That is crazy time consuming. So here is my favorite mechanic of these bosses. That is that certain ones have these. I don't really have a better name for them than like mines. You see those little explosions forming around him there. This one they're pretty tame. It'll spawn a couple of them during the closed phase, and then when it opens up, it'll just spawn them where you are. So not a huge deal. Later boss, they're kind of a huge deal.
Yeah. We'll see them be a lot more ruthless later. But some of these guys will explode, will try to crash into you and explode, and you'll hear a hiss when they spawn, so that's when you know you need to watch out. So there's a fair bit of there's a lot of a lot of thought went into audio cues and whatnot in this game, and just the way the music tracks actually work is there's actually like 6 or 7 tracks all playing at once, but depending on where you are in the level and what's happening around you, it will adjust. It will constantly be adjusting the volume of those tracks and mix them together. So it's like when you're outside, you'll get a slightly different. I guess Banjo-Kazooie, you could almost say it was kind of like Banjo-Kazooie, where except that changes the actual instruments. So it's a bit different in that, but it's a similar idea where it's constantly adjusting the various bits of music volume as you move through the level.
I hate to say that I haven't noticed, but I haven't noticed. But
well, my brother will be very unhappy to hear you say that, because my brother actually did all the sound and music work for this game.
Nice.
does that include the composition? Because the composition, like the music, is fantastic.
Yeah, no, he wrote. Yeah, he wrote all the music, and he did. I know he did all of the sound effects. I'm not sure where he actually sourced some of them from, but yeah, he did all the sound effects work. What the hell was that? Something just something. Oh, okay.
So yeah, I also agree that like the audio cues in this game are like extremely helpful. Casual play, speedrun play, like just you will listen for those cues about things coming to kill you and so on.
There's actually a skip here, but it's really touchy, so I'm not going to do it. You can
It's
actually
pretty easy.
Well, I've never managed to get it, so I've never managed to get it, so it's hard. But you can actually grab this. You can actually light that thing up, but it's a pretty small window to do it before you fall too far and can't actually grab the zip line. So that's the mechanic that's introduced in this level, is the zip lines. You'll see a fair bit of those later on.
Pretty straightforward. You light up the top end, and then you grab anywhere on the zip line, and you slide.
Yep.
This level is probably one of my favorites because there's a lot of wall jumping type platforming.
Oops,
And
that's
I'm a
right.
fan.
I'm getting ahead of myself. That's not what I thought. That spot is not what I thought it was. It's been a little while since I played this game, so I forget like exactly what order things happen in sometimes.
Also, I never really did understand what exactly the 3 things that you like activate over the course of each level are.
Oh, well, there's a core generator in the center of the planet, and the 3 feeders are infected by the remora, and you need to cleanse them so that it's actually feeding we call it Fostic, back into the core. So there's actually a skip here that I'm not going to do, but I'll see if I can demonstrate it. Oops, okay. There's a tiny little spot. If you jump off this wall, come on, get it.
So this is actually the harder version of this right now. We basically
Yeah,
accidentally...
whoops.
there you
Okay, so I had it for a second there. There's a tiny little spot where the spikes don't actually kill you,
Yeah.
and you can skip a section there, but I'm going to do this section because it's kind of cool anyway. So,
go. But yeah, like, we even came up with a slightly easier variant of that, where basically, after shooting on those blocks, you just walk off the end. It puts you in the perfect position where you just turn left and kick off the wall from the other.
oh, okay.
That works out pretty nice.
Get out of my face.
And obviously, as you see here, you have to, like, kill these dudes and, like, do a puzzle if you go down this way, so...
Yeah, that skip probably saves at least a minute. I'm not sure exactly how much time it saves, but it's at least a minute.
Yeah. As speedrunners, we can't be bothered to do all this crap. We're slackers.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff we found, like, in the last couple of months, weeks of development, that we decided just, you know what, we're just going to leave that in, because... Okay, so here's the other mechanic. Here's one of the other mechanics this level introduces, is battery puzzles, where we will drag this to the socket here, and now there's an open door down below us. So so this is what you're supposed to do. You have to open this door so that you can do this slide, and then you can just jump across. But you can, in fact, just jump over the spikes. It's pretty like I demonstrated the hard version of it, but like I didn't know there was an easier version, so that's news to me.
Yeah, it turns out it's just exactly wide enough of gap where you can get across, but it is difficult. So, like as a casual player, you're not gonna figure that out. You're just gonna go and do the intended route.
Yeah, some of the geometry bugs are not obvious at all.
Yeah, honestly, like as a casual player, like I didn't catch any of these like interesting time savers. But then once you kind of understand the classes of things that you can do,
Get
there
up
are
there.
a lot of really like pretty easy
Oh,
rewarding
come on.
skills.
Get up there. Why am I having so much trouble climbing this stupid mushroom?
This mushroom, man.
I really like the way that the amount of light around your character represents your health.
Oh, incidentally, that's an elephant.
We watched somebody play the game on his stream right after release, and he called it a Derposaurus. So that's kind of become the unofficial staff name for that thing.
Nice. Incidentally, to speedrun that section right above is super dangerous.
Wow, I almost lost it there. Oops, no.
Fortunately, grapple points are super forgiving.
Yeah.
You walk to get grabbed.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That guy came out of nowhere.
It's actually kind of really neat because like the way the game controls and the way like you
Yep.
kind of
Stupid. Alright, you die now. 'Cause you screwed up my battery grab.
the way that that you as a player are naturally going to react if you like screw something up. Like if you fall off a lantern and you're going to die, your first instinct is just going to kind of like spin around in a circle and do like whatever the hell you can to survive. And one of those things is just turn on glare, and it turns out glare is the thing that just hooks you onto a grapple point. And there's no like cooldown. It's not like you shoot in a direction then wait or anything like that. So you just turn on the glare and spin, and you'll probably get caught back on the lantern that you just fell off of. No harm, no foul.
Oh, did anybody update the broadcast panel, by the way, or does it still say we're playing Dragon Crystal?
It
No.
says, it says clear.
Oh, okay.
It's been, I think, just removed.
Okay, cool.
But the estimate is more Master Blaster.
Okay, so this is a tiny skip right here. Normally you're supposed to go all the way up to the top, but if you jump off the wall the right way, you can actually just grab that slightly lower zip line and skip. Oh, here's let's see if I can get this lantern boost. Nope. Okay, come on. I got this in practice, like the first try. Figures. Oh, whatever. So you can actually, like, you can lantern boost yourself up to that ledge, but it saves, like, maybe 5 seconds, because you can just do this instead.
Yeah, for that boost, you generally are going to want to be further down to start.
Yeah.
And the timing on hitting the jump there is not super precise or anything, but it definitely requires some like you have to have the feel for it.
Oh, wait. I always want to jump up there, and you can't actually fit through that spot.
And there's these idiots. Yeah, this section is actually also deceptively dangerous when you come through here for the first time. Now we're getting one of my favorite power-ups.
I'm gonna have to double check this. I could be wrong. I'm still not. I didn't write the code that tracks the game timer, so I'm not 100% sure on this. But I'm pretty sure the game timer is actually paused during these cutscenes where you don't have control.
It is not.
Really? Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that then because it should be.
So, please do.
Yeah.
Cut some extra game time off of our records.
Yeah.
So, based on the testing that I did using VDub and just recording my own IL attempts,
Yeah.
It looks like the timer starts as soon as the load screen finishes before you enter a level, and ends as soon as you deal the final blow to the boss.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely not how... That was not the intended behavior, so somebody probably just broke it at some point and didn't notice.
That is one of the numerous kind of frame-saving
Whoop.
techniques.
Oh, wow. And then I do that, so completely nullifying everything I just did.
But yeah, this game, a lot of it, because it's just, it's just a platformer.
Come on, get up there.
With, it's I don't want to say there's no combat, but it's pretty light on combat. Like, combat's not the focus. It's really more kind of platforming-centric. So there's a ton of platform-based, like, frame savers just everywhere. Like that. Skipping the, you don't have to land where the save point is, you just go straight to the zip line.
Yeah, we the save point hitboxes are pretty tall, so you don't have to actually touch the thing to get it.
Big fan
Yeah, I forget exactly where I want to drop this thing, so I'm just gonna take it all the way down.
of that. Yeah, no, we always do as well. All the runners. That was pretty fun. You actually do, you have to go below the platform. So you want to drop that battery into the socket's right below the door that he just opened. But you want to drop the battery basically where he did, because otherwise the socket won't be loaded, and so it won't actually get in there.
Oh, that's why that keeps screwing up?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to fix that too. Bug list.
Nice thing is this thing streams, so then say you don't necessarily write it down.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right,
I'll
just
just
go
have
through
to
the
just open a ticket and done.
Just open one ticket and link as the description or the Reaper steps link this video. So this boss, as you see, introduces the lovely spin laser of death. I mean, it only does one damage, but still.
You only take 3 hits, so damage is a lot.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Sometimes these guys, I'm pretty sure the likelihood of an enemy dropping a health drop is 25%, but it feels a lot lower when you actually need health.
You do have one down there.
I might have unloaded, I might have gone too far.
I'm not even sure if they unload.
I think they do if you get far enough away from them in the boss rooms. They won't expire.
Like that one, yeah.
They won't expire just from time, but if you get too far away from them, they will unload that way.
So, yeah, otherwise, this boss, each boss kind of has, like, they're all the same boss, but they have their own little unique quirks. So this one has the lasers, but it doesn't have the exploding mine things. So this one is kind of tame by comparison.
Yeah. Okay, so I will show you the Bash Beast bug momentarily.
I am very excited for this. So Uranium Maker tells me that this is the thing that he hinted at in the thread a while back on SDA.
Yeah. Yeah, we found this literally the day before release, and was another one of those things like we're gonna leave that in. And we were just gonna we wanted to see if somebody would find it, and I don't think anybody did because you don't know about it. So.
Yeah, I mean, so he described it as a bug with bash beasts. Bash beasts are these big, like, moving, horrible pill bug things.
Yeah, well, back before they actually had art, they were literally just giant capsules moving around. Whoops.
And yeah, I'm not familiar with any, like, interesting mechanical tricks that just use those. We do have some minor frame savers around the Bash Beast puzzles, but I'm not familiar with any tricks using them, so I'm interested to see this. Hopefully Panda and or Human Fist is also watching.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, we'll just have to link it to them later. Okay, so...
Nasty!
So, yeah.
That's quite the bug.
Disgusting!
If you can aim that correctly, you can skip over half the level.
Oh my god. Goodbye, Ice World. That's so funny. So does that work in either direction?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how the physics behind it work, but yes, you can basically launch yourself wherever you want to if you're standing in the right spot.
Oh my god, dude. That's so funny.
And the longer you have it paused, the harder it will launch you when you unpause.
Yeah, you know why we
Whoa.
haven't caught that? That was fascinating. Because we don't spend time on the bash beasts. Because why would we? We don't want to be there. We want
Yeah.
to be moving on. Yeah, so we wouldn't. If we were gonna pause the game at all, we probably wouldn't be standing on the bash beast. That's really, really funny.
That is awesome.
Oh my! I am very much looking forward to running this now because Ice World is the worst, and now you guys will get to see why.
It's fun to play, but it's definitely the longest of the 5 levels.
Yeah, I mean, when I say worst, like, I like this game. I like playing this game a lot. In terms of the speedrun, this level being, like, by far the longest, the most drawn out, the most chances to die.
So now what's the weapon called? It's not the spacer anymore?
Wave beam.
Wave
Yep,
beam?
wave.
Ah, laugh beam.
It is the wave beam, yes.
And of course, you still have spacer equipped, so you got the beam combo.
I love beams, and I love beam combinations. The only thing that can make this better for me is some orbs. Are there any orbs in this game?
Nothing's...
You get
not,
something like power bombs pretty soon. I came up with Super Metroid equivalents for everything at some point, because it's basically Super Metroid.
yeah, we call these glare flingers. You just point and launch yourself.
I think in the speedrun community we came up with catapults for these.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they
So
are.
it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, there's no like official name for most of the stuff in this game. We just have like the dev names that we called everything. Like these guys are bats. Like the guys that are just chasing me around are bats, and the things that are shooting at me are flowers.
Anyway, I need to think of excellent names for every enemy and object in the game. That's one of my special powers.
So
Special power.
that
huh?
section that he just went through, we saw that there were a bunch of enemies all clustered right there, and it was like super dangerous. That's just the first of many of those in this level. Oh, so right there, when you came out of that pipe,
Yeah.
there's a frame perfect, pixel perfect jump where if you lean to the left and then get a double jump along the way, you can go into the pipe.
Oh, okay. So you can skip this part too.
You can
but-
skip this part.
Well,
This-
you wouldn't even need to do this part if you get the Bash Beast skip
That
figured
is
out.
absolutely true. But yeah, so that was basically the task jump that Cactus found. And this puzzle section only takes about like 45 seconds, so it's not a huge save.
So. Oops. Dang it.
Yes, this section is also ridiculously dangerous. And of course, if you try to do it fast, like, the thing about lanterns is if you try to quickly navigate lanterns, you're more likely to get a lantern boost. And if in that section, covered in spikes, if you get a lantern boost, you're going to have some problems. And this section is what we affectionately call the gauntlet. And when I say affectionately, what I mean is I hate this section. Fuck this section. Because of those things. Yeah.
Chompy.
Yeah.
Chompy's feeling hungry.
So now you want to try to do that fast. Good luck.
Oh wait. Shoot. You can actually just drop down there.
Yeah.
I forgot. When I was watching somebody stream this, they kept trying to jump down that because they didn't see that there was a gap in the wall there.
Oh yeah, no. Not only did Puexel do that, I think I did that.
Wouldn't,
when
yeah.
I played it.
And unfortunately, this game is pretty good about like making it relatively easy to figure out where you're supposed to go, even if actually doing it isn't necessarily easy.
Yeah, there were
But-
not too many times when I had that issue.
But yeah, there's a couple spots in this level where just like the way the lighting is makes it harder to see where you're actually supposed to go, which is unfortunate because remember how I mentioned that the Unity engine would choke trying to edit levels this big? Well, a light bake in a level this big takes literally 18 hours.
Wow.
Unsurprised.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's we tried to not touch the lighting as much as possible.
Yeah, and it's again, it's few and far between that there are issues like that. So it's really a testament to what they've done, particularly Like, so as a developer, if you're under that sort of restriction, I mean, he said, you know, touch the lighting isn't really like
Wow. Those enemies
Wombo
have that one
combo.
hand, yes.
I mean, what he really means by touch the lighting as little as possible is like they did the lighting and probably were like, let's never have to change this again.
Yeah, I mean, we knew where we wanted to have lit, and once we got the geometry in place, we basically only did light bakes if somebody found something really heinous. Like, there were a couple of times when, like, a light bake would bug out, and suddenly we'd have, like, an entire section of the level that was purple.
Ooh, wow.
And
Yes.
Not the intended color, though.
Yeah. So, given that, like, how good the level is, yeah, how all the levels are, is pretty impressive. And now here's Cannonball Ellie, a name that I literally just made up.
get up there. Okay, good. Wow, that could have
It's a boost.
that could have ended very badly.
Good boost.
Okay, so this is another part where people got stuck because we actually added this lantern in later because people didn't realize that there was a zip line up there.
Yeah.
And so they kept trying to launch themselves all the way over here and just not making it. I bet you could with
You
enough.
can. You totally
Okay,
can.
yeah.
In fact, that was the first way that I did it, was to just launch myself.
Okay, then.
I knew the zipline was there. I was just like, no.
Right. Yeah, we added that lantern in later when we realized how many people were getting stuck there just because they didn't realize there was a zip line up there because they couldn't see it. It's like we actually spent a lot of time like tweaking the camera. Like most of the time the camera's just kind of following you, but there's all kinds of parts of this level where we just had to kind of manually override the camera to make sure that you could see what we wanted you to see, and that was one of them. But
You can see subtle differences in the way the camera is angled as you go.
yeah, they spent a lot of time trying to get that right. So, I can't remember if you can actually shine through.
You can.
It's pretty hard, I think.
It's
I'm gonna
I think
try
the
it.
word I want is dumb. Basically, it's not difficult, but it's inconsistent.
Right.
Like
Well, it's not
sometimes
intended, so I'm not feeling too broken up about that.
Yeah. There's like a spot in the wall where you can clip the light through. In,
Oops.
as you said, an unintended way.
Yeah, it's like I don't mind if like people find stuff like that, and I'm not gonna like go rush to fix broken stuff like that that lets you skip unintended stuff. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be upset if some crazy trick somebody finds is actually like really hard to execute.
Wow.
I jumped a little too late
A
there.
little late, yeah.
Just a bit.
You ended up catching like your feet on the spikes.
Yeah.
So the thing about spikes in this game is they're very generous. Like if you basically, if the edge of your hitbox touches one, your hitbox is your entire model, you are dead. And-
Well, it's like the opposite of generous.
Generous for the spike.
Yeah.
yeah, it's generous for the
They're
spikes,
lovely.
not for you.
If you're a spike.
So now I'm curious, did you guys actually just use a simple
Oops.
capsule collider at all, or did you guys actually make the entire mesh collider?
I don't remember off the top of my head, actually. I mean, the art for the character was done pretty early on. Dang it. So there were a lot of placeholders early on in development for just like spheres and whatnot that eventually turned into proper models. But wow, did I seriously just catch that edge?
Yeah.
And then
So-
walk into the spikes?
You are
chose.
seeing right here why speedrunners dislike this level so much, because it's
Oh.
very
Okay, that's right.
very easy to die a whole lot. Like, UA is not even playing particularly horrible. Like, not super great.
Thanks,
just-
I think.
A glowing endorsement.
yes, I really bring out the praise in all appropriate occasions. But yeah, like, it's just a dangerous long
Yeah.
slog.
Even without the skip in Area 5, this is the longest level in the game.
Yeah, I think lava without a skip was like on the order of 15 or 16 or something.
Yeah, I want to say that we have achievements for beating the levels within a certain number of minutes, and I want to say the achievement for ice is 19. I don't remember
I
off
think
the top of my
I think
head.
that's right, 19 and a half or 19 or something.
Yeah. There's also an achievement for getting through the entire game without dying. which one of our developers managed to get within about an hour and a half of release.
Nice.
Crazy bastard, but he did it. For a while, he was one of the guys who he was trading back with our head artist for who had the fastest time.
So to establish how ridiculous that achievement is, none of the speedrunners have it yet. Even for trying. So Human Fist and the Angry Panda for a couple days were trying for no death runs. Although they were also sort of doing like speedrun style strats. So yeah, you could if you were a little less.
Yeah, I'm sure if you weren't trying to speedrun the game, you might be able to do the.
Yeah, if you were less
No, that's-
aggressive, it would be easier. But it's still really hard.
Yeah, well, he still managed to also get all of the time achievements in that same run. So
Oh, in the same one. Okay. It's even more impressive.
The time achievements are actually like, unlike in a lot of games where the time achievement is just like, oh, whatever.
Ridiculous times.
Yeah, like, oh, no. Like, in a lot of games, the time achievement would be something, like, oh, complete this level in, like, 4 hours or whatever. It's like a 2-hour level or whatever.
yeah, like I think the Grass World, the first world, Tree World, sorry, not Grass World.
Yeah.
The achievement for that's I want to say 9 minutes, and I think the fastest time is like around 7.
Yes.
Boosting.
But, that's with a lot of IL strats. Like, honestly, like, the IL time achievements in this game are actually pretty decent times. Like, you get a sub 9 minute time in Tree World, that's actually pretty good. Ditto if you take any of the other achievements. Doing the intended route, obviously, like, if you do a Lava World skip, you're gonna get the Lava achievement. I mean, you would have to botch that monumentally to not get that achievement if you did that skip.
You saved the animals.
I did.
So what do you guys call these? I think we call them owls. Or bats.
I think we just called them birds. Originally, they were like these weird, like rock platforms, but we decided that birds was a lot more interesting. That, and we wanted a game where birds weren't jerks for once.
Oh man, yeah.
They have their moments still.
Well, yeah, they can still troll you a little bit, but they're not intentionally jerks. And I missed that one because I was trying to kill this guy. So a little while ago, I picked up the grenades. I don't know if anybody noticed.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're just on a cooldown.
Yeah, you can fire one every like 2 seconds. I want to say it's you can't shoot your main weapon while you're also glaring, but you can throw a grenade, and you can actually grab the grenade as well
Oh,
and
nice.
fling it into people.
That's pretty cool.
I've
Nice
that
mechanic.
long. Although it doesn't actually come in like specifically hitting the speedrun, but it's a really neat thing to be able to do.
Yeah.
Advanced grenade dunking stacks.
And the explosion on it's actually pretty big, like as far as knocking out those
So
walls.
the explosion harm you.
No.
That's good. For you. That's less good for the spikes.
I don't think the spikes care about the grenade. I don't know if I can reach this now. Okay, just barely.
Barely.
Yeah.
Which is enough. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, usually I just grab it right away, but I somehow managed to miss it. I'm not sure if I can actually grab this now. I might have to just die. But nope, it worked.
Exhausted.
You're not gonna be too tired for dinner, are you?
If I am ever too tired for dinner, I authorize you to just put me in a coffin and bury me.
Alright, I'll keep that in mind.
And
No, you don't have to kill me. Just put me in the coffin and bury me. I'll take care of the rest.
Is it gonna be a coffin you've already made specially for this moment?
There will be a coffin.
so we're coming up
Yeah,
on
something inside
bird
the
section
coffin that
number
help
2.
you actually be in the coffin and not get out of it or something?
Basically, all these bird sections are really dependent on getting good timing with respect to the bird cycle. I think the bird cycles are based on when you start the level.
They reset when you hit a checkpoint, or when you respawn from a checkpoint. But other than that, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're like on a global timer from the level. I'd have to double check that, but that sounds right.
And actually, that doesn't even matter too much anyway, because really what's important is when you get the first one. And then, based basically because they're all on a synchronized cycle. Like whenever you get on the first bird, that's the cycle that you're gonna be on.
Yeah, so this part is actually like something we were concerned about because you're suddenly back where you were before, but now you can blow through this wall. Several people have accidentally gone through the tunnel again and had to do that like entire second half of the level again.
Jeez.
But thankfully it seems to be a pretty small number of people who don't realize that, oh, wait a minute, I'm kind of playing a Metroid game almost. Oops.
That was close.
Jeez.
And the jump right in
Blah, blah, blah.
the box number 4. Yes. So this boss removes the lasers, doesn't bring back the explosions. What this boss brings is the stupid little balls.
Don't glare these. It's a trap. Seriously, don't glare these.
So if you
What happens?
They move faster.
Oh, they get
yeah,
mad.
they get repelled.
Yeah.
And then they just start going all over the
I
Yeah.
want to see that happen.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
There it is right there. Not only that, but they have a pretty substantial amount of health. And I feel like, but don't necessarily have evidence, that they drop health less frequently or not at all.
I think it might be not at all, actually. I'd have to double check that. I think they're the only thing you can kill that doesn't drop health.
So basically, those things are bulbs.
Maybe those are the wolves I've been searching for.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Does the light bomb hurt the boss?
Yeah, I'm not sure how it compares to the gunshots, but it does hurt the boss.
I think you can fire it without costing yourself bullet time anyway. Right?
Yeah, you can shoot it while you're either glaring or shooting. One thing you have to be careful of is though, like your shots will set the bomb off, so you need to do it relatively close if you're firing at the same time. Otherwise, you'll just immediately set the bomb off.
Huh.
Which is a feature I kind of argued about. I felt like it would make more sense to have you hit the button again to set them off early, but I seem to be the only one who thought that
The
was.
sweet shot combos.
I seem to be the only one who thought that was actually a better idea. So
That was ridiculously close.
yeah, I almost died there a couple of times.
Not all development teams always agree on things, so...
Yeah, I mean, either one really works. It just, if I had my choice, I would have said hitting the grenade button again sets it off early rather than shooting it. But,
So that, as mentioned, longest level in the game.
yep. So yeah, if I mentioned before they found the other skip for this level, there's a battery way off to the right that you can actually bring back, and one of these ledges is not entirely solid. Like I forget exactly where the unsolid. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
You can battery boost yourself up to that ledge and jump off and like skip probably about a third of the level. But I think the skip they found skips even more of the level and is a lot easier to execute. So ends up not mattering that much.
Are you gonna play it as intended right now, though?
Yeah. I haven't actually practiced the skip that they found, so I'm not
So
gonna
you guys
try
gonna
it.
do the intended way.
Pretty
and,
much.
When he gets to the spot where the skip is, he'll actually go through that spot twice because there's an intended second pass through there.
Yeah.
We'll point out what that is.
So yeah, this is the battery I was talking about. If you can bring this all the way... Oops, I screwed that up. If you bring that all the way back to the start of the level, you can actually boost yourself over that wall there.
Incidentally, getting this thing back to the start of the level is surprisingly a huge pain.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it wasn't intended, so we kind of discovered it afterwards. Like, wait a minute, this isn't solid.
So in terms of challenge, Lava World is...
Oops, what?
Wow.
I glared a little early and
Yeah.
launched myself out of the flinger there.
This level is reasonably straightforward, but it has some dicey rooms like that one that just make it deceptively difficult. Like, you won't expect the difficulty when it starts coming. Alright, so right here is where the main skip is.
I think you jump up here or something
Yeah,
like
you
that.
would cross over to here. Normally, what you have to do is drop down and come back later.
Yeah.
And
I'm not sure exactly how
which
the
takes
skip
a
works,
while.
but you can get up there.
Yeah, you can find a highlight of that skip on my Twitch channel in my highlights somewhere. And it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Fun fact, this area right here was actually where we originally introduced the snakes by having you fight 2 of them in an enclosed space. And we just realized that was actually just really cruel because they're really hard to fight in enclosed spaces.
Thank you for not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably when the first time I did a full playthrough of the game, like when they had it when they had the geometry of the levels pretty much mapped out, I probably got stuck in that spot for about 10 minutes. So
Also, I hope you guys took note of approximately what time it was when UA just went through that section I was talking about where you had to drop down. Because when we get back through there, you'll find out how much time that skip that we're talking about saves. Spoiler, it's a lot.
whoops.
That was interesting.
Yeah, he didn't double jump right away. Maybe I'd already used it.
You like
I don't know.
slid off the ground. That's really weird.
Yeah.
That's a big part of the game, is
The roller skates.
there's no one's laughing about
You're
it.
dying.
Whoops. Wow. Okay.
You lost all your momentum down there for
yeah,
some reason.
I think I didn't go far enough to the left because you do actually have to build up a bit of momentum or you won't get max speed, but it's not a lot, but it can be enough to surprise you sometimes. Okay, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
all the way. Yeah, see how much more easy, how much less of a error margin for error I had. Oops, that's right. This part. Getting ahead of myself again.
I literally do not remember this section at all because
Well, you haven't played it. In
Yeah, I just
probably
haven't done
months.
it since the first time I played through, basically.
Yeah, so imagine fighting these bouncing snakes in that enclosed space I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, those are incidentally, there's another very nice lantern burst. Those are my least favorite enemy. We will get to see them on the next boss, too. Because...
Oops, get out of there. Yeah, those actually gave us a lot of trouble coding them so that they wouldn't break their own necks trying to twist around on you.
Oh yeah.
We ended up having to write an AI waiting routine to try to figure out, okay, which direction do I want to head in? It's like, okay, am I too close to a wall? Is the player too far or too sharp of an angle to turn directly around on him? Do I want to do a dive on him? They're actually the most complex enemy in the game for a variety of reasons. We almost cut them out because we couldn't get them to work, and I was the hero and managed to save them.
Why didn't you
Shout outs to enemy programming.
AI programming sucks.
Love it. Oh, it's so good. Every day when I wake up, I open Palm Slam
So,
and the AI.
this is the obligatory rising lava get up before it catches you or you die sequence.
Yeah, there's a few different paths you can take through that, and that was just the standard one, I think.
Yeah, we never really invested a lot of time into figuring out optimal.
Lava gun, auto scroll.
Yeah. This part actually originally had some lava chasing you as well, but we couldn't make it look good, so we dropped it because we realized it wasn't really that interesting for this part.
Thank you very much.
I mean, the problem is we could either make it chase you really hard and make it really difficult, or you got so far ahead of it that it didn't matter. It's like, okay, and it doesn't look good anyway. But yeah, shit, whatever. It's like we have better things to spend our time on.
Bubbles. So, an interesting consequence of doing the cactus skip is that these bubbles appear in several areas in this level.
Oh,
And an interesting consequence of doing the cactus skip is that the bubbles don't appear anywhere.
yeah. I forget exactly where the trigger for these bubbles starting to spawn is, but if you do the skip, you just don't hit that trigger.
Yeah. So what you end up having to do instead
Come on.
is some rather precise wall jumps, and they're pretty fun. I really like the precise wall jumping. I like how well the wall
Oops.
jumping
Come on,
controls in this game. Everything feels good, so it just is rewarding to do wall jumps.
Slowest skate ever.
No momentum.
In theory, you can actually skate through this entire section, but like actually landing where you need to not lose the skate is pretty difficult.
Especially given the fact that there's enemies there.
Yeah. This is where light bomb comes in pretty handy for some of these sections.
Like, never skimp on the light bomb.
Yeah, I remember when we were watching streams of people playing, they would always forget about the light bombs and was like, how do I deal with these swarms of enemies? Well, we gave you an explosive weapon. You just forgot about it.
Yeah, no, it took me a while to, like, remember on a regular basis that light bomb is in the arsenal. But once you do, you're just so happy all the time. And except in this section, I mean, this section just kind of sucks. You're never happy here.
I'm gonna grab this health here. Oops. Oh, get up. Well, that was a net zero. Okay, there you go. Got more health.
Because of these guys. That was rather close. Other nice thing is grabbing a wall resets your wall jump. Sorry, your double jump. So,
Not get.
anytime you need to
myself
jump
again.
extra, just touch wall. Nice.
Unfortunately, the cutscene resets your position, so. But as long as you can get it over onto that ledge in the first jump, it saves a bit of time.
So you might recognize this area.
Yeah, so the
because
bubbles
this
are
is where the
spawning
skip
now.
was. Now we have the bubbles. This is not actually where you need the bubbles to be able to do stuff. You can get up here totally easily. But yeah, this is where you would have gotten to if you'd done the cactus step. So, again, think back. How long has it been? It's probably been about 10 minutes. That is how much time we would have saved from that cactus step.
Half an hour? I haven't been playing that badly.
Literally
Oh, you got
an
the
hour
skip.
and
You got
15
the,
minutes from that one
time
skip.
fire.
Jeez, you Ray.
Power grip.
So
Yeah,
now
so-
he has
Yeah, full, like, before you had half the speed booster, now you have the full speed booster, and I screwed that up. Yeah, and I gotta run back. Yeah, because I need to get through this wall over here. There we go.
a safety save.
This part's not that hard.
Just keep your speed boost there in case it comes back.
Also, there's a checkpoint like right here.
Oops. Get down here. You actually have like a couple of seconds after you lose grip on the ball before the glare actually stops affecting it. I forget what the exact cutoff is, so it's pretty hard to lose control of the battery unless you're really screwed up.
So down there, you see that there are bubbles. This is where there would not be bubbles if you had done the cactus skip. And it actually makes this
Oops.
traversal
Please.
here really, really difficult. Unless you know kind of
Oh, wait.
the specific series of jumps to do off the walls. So we call that climb bubbleless. Because there's no bubbles.
Come on, bubbles.
Really, really an uncreative name, but that's how we do it.
And also again, whoops, why did I drop off there? That was totally, that was just my fault.
That was the wrong thing.
Yeah, no, I hit the wrong button. That was totally my fault.
Sometimes you just want to go for a swim.
complex is a good thing sometimes.
And now finally at the end of the level we have this. And this, for all intents and purposes, is RNG. It's not, but the cycle you can't control.
Yeah. If you can get through that quickly, you basically got lucky. All right. I think I shoot with the battery gun.
No, you didn't trip it.
Okay.
There you go. Nice simple battery puzzle to finish the level. And then check my right before the boss. So, this boss brings the lasers, he brings the bulbs, he brings the snaky guys, and, oh yeah, he also brings the mines. He's got a little bit of everything for everybody. Oh, and as a bonus to mines, they spawn random locations now.
Shoot.
How
I got
can
pinned.
avoid where I pass
Oh, well.
if I strike every position at once.
So, the speedrunner strat for this is basically strafe around him a lot, which, I mean, if you think about it, is literally exactly what UA has been doing on every single boss. And that's really the point. Like, we don't have any particularly fancy strats to deal with this, because the positions of those bombs are random. You just hope they don't kill you.
Yeah, I'm getting pinned again.
You also have to hope for health drops, which unfortunately is not the easiest thing to get going through. Like,
The boss closes itself up after you deal enough damage.
Yeah,
to it,
it's
so not
damage
time-
based.
so it's
Yeah,
not
you don't
time
have to like rush and kill him, but I mean, you're
Lose a cycle.
yeah. It always takes 3 cycles.
correct. There's no quick kill. There's no like 2 cycling him or anything like that. There are 3 cycles.
Yeah.
Deal the damage as quickly as you can, and then you get through.
Come on. That mine RNG.
It does give me a little bit of mean-spirited glee to watch one of the developers suffer through this a little bit. It's really fun
Well,
as
to
boss.
be fair, I didn't design the boss fights.
Touche.
Oh, really? Did I seriously do that? Wow.
How could you?
There was
How could you?
monsters. And again, that's the thing. It's not like those monsters are dangerous or anything.
It's just you only have 3 hits.
Yeah, you have 3 hits, and they're just irritating. They just are always there. They just won't leave you alone.
They just want to be your friend.
Yes, they do. Nope, there came one out of nowhere. Oh, here comes some more.
Wow.
Also, if this wasn't enough RNG for you on this boss, just get ready for the last level.
Oh, there's 6 level.
Yep. This is the hub. Or the torque caster is the official name, but the internal level is the hub.
So I think it's a really clever design that basically there's the 5 main levels: tree, desert, pillar, ice, and lava. And then you go to the final level where the final boss is the torque caster, and there's 5 rings on this kind of space station thing, and each one is modeled after kind of one of the levels, and they go in order. So there's a tree ring, a desert ring, so on and so forth. It's a really neat little.
Okay, let's just kill it without dying. Oh, wow. They're
You
trying
very
hard.
nearly got comboed to death. That was pretty impressive.
Wow.
Oh, just barely got him.
Jeez.
Yeah, you did.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
I thought you got hit just a bit ago.
The snake was. He took the last hit as he was about to eat you.
Now it's time to go to the mirror.
Bang, zoom, straight to the.
I do like the icons they have here on the screen.
Honestly,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the nasty guy.
Dark cast.
This doesn't look like a moon to me. I think you were lying.
Oops. Bad jump on my part.
So let's talk about sources of RNG here. Those 2 heads do stuff kind of at whatever interval they want. There's a minimum interval, but it's not super long, and they're certainly not guaranteed to go at that. They will either shoot bullets in various different patterns, like that, or they'll spew enemies at you. The enemies then also become a random factor, and they'll kind of aim them in random positions. At some points, you just won't be able to dodge the stuff that they throw at you.
Yes,
Yeah, so this is the desert ring, and also the ice ring for that matter, are both kind of these, the guy is chasing you, do your skateboarding, and they're not too difficult once you get the pattern down.
It seemed a lot shorter.
Well, that's because I was skateboarding through them.
Well, yeah, but
Skateboard's pretty awesome.
roller skates, not skateboarding.
I do like how you can see the previous rings in the background, though, as you're going through the
Yeah,
level.
I'm gonna let you out on a secret. This level caused a ton of developer headaches to get this working.
Developer headaches.
So you saw that stuff UA just went through. There's actually a skip where you can come from the entrance of this ring, right up over the top, and over to where he just entered. It's actually fairly precise and difficult, and can easily consume as much time in failed attempts as it takes you to do the ring normally. But if you get first try, it's a ton of time. Probably about 30
Is it usually always like this close for these rings?
Pretty much.
Yeah. He'll actually like.
Oh, what?
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Well, no, that was my fault. But I don't
even think I've seen that before.
That was totally my fault. But I was not expecting it at all.
He'll kind of the laser head will kind of slow down to like permit a little bit of leeway, but not a huge amount.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen.
Ah.
What? Sometimes
That's-
sometimes you can skate across the button, but it's
Yeah,
kind of finicky.
iffy.
Too fast.
All
Too
right.
many frames saved.
And then once again, Lava Ring, like Lava World and Lava Boss, is kind of it brings together all the RNG.
Yep.
So this is good times. In particular, my favorite is you'll shoot while you're getting on that zip line, and you can't do anything about it. You'll just take some damage. And of course, there's this section down here where you have to deal with all these flowers.
Oops. Whatever. Whoop. No, that's not the button I meant to hit.
And then right here, sometimes he'll just shoot right on top of you and you'll take some damage before you can slide.
Yeah, as long as you're sliding, you can't you can't be shot. But
Yeah, and that's always nice.
all right, get ready on time because it'll be coming up shortly here.
And then sometimes after you drop down here, he'll snipe you.
Really? I lost the slide.
He'll snipe you when
Wow.
you're on your way
Let's try that
back
again.
up to deliver the final hit. So you can do that. I have died to that.
And time. All right, I'm happy with that.
And then we'll go Super Sonic. Wait a second, this is a Sonic game. I just figured it out. Oh no. And you're the winner. You're the winner.
Spoilers, you become the sun.
A Metroid Sonic, maybe?
Sun's my favorite planet.
So there's my brother, Josh Cutler,
Brother.
and programming, Benjamin Cutler.
Nice.
That's a very cool game.
People in credits of games.
So it would be a little tacky if the developer himself were like shilling his game hardcore. So I'm going to shill his game for him. It's really, really good. You should buy it and you should play it. I enjoyed it a lot when I played it casually, and I'm going to continue to enjoy speedrunning it. And by enjoy, what I mean is, so when a speedrunner enjoys something, usually it involves like wanting to cut themselves. That's the kind
Or
of enjoyment
breaking
that
the
I
game.
have.
Let's see, so 809. Those aren't terrible times, I guess. I think those are all, except maybe the Lava World. I think those might have all gotten me the achievement. I'm not sure.
I don't remember what the Lava World time requirement
Yeah.
is, but I think all the other ones are probably.
Okay. Yeah, it's about as good as I can hope
Well,
for.
I,
So
I think if I remember though, I don't know if this was ever changed, but I think I know if you go into the credits, like in the, I think it's in the option screen, right? I think
about it?
I think you go in there. I think it doesn't.
are you trying to show something that's broken?
Yeah, I think there's no commas between names or something like that. It's a very simple thing, but
Oh, this?
yeah.
Oh.
Like there's no commas
Oh,
between
yeah,
names
okay.
there. Just a very simple thing.